Hi, my name is Jan and welcome back to the chaos that is Shani and Books. Not sure why I look like I belong in the 70s today, but I just do. Today I am going to be doing the January book tag. I had this as my first video last year and I'm kind of sad that I didn't make it my first video this year, but it's fine. We're doing it now. Basically, this is a book tag that was created by my friend Jan, and it is a tag to kind of wrap up the previous reading year and start the new one. So there's a list of questions that I will get to now. I feel like my answer is going to be a bit boring, but I did get tagged to do this by my friend Sasha. So thank you, Sasha, and I'm getting it up hopefully during January so it still makes sense. But question number one is, what was the last and first, if you remember, book you read last year? Great question. Hold on, I wasn't prepared. So the first book that I read in 2022 was Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, which really got my year off to a good start because this was a 5-star read. It was in my favorites. It's like a cult classic mystery thriller book that everyone has read, and I had not until the beginning of 2022. This was my first book of the year and I'm very happy about it. And my last book that I read in 2022 was El Defo, which was because I had the reading goal to read 10 non-fiction books and I was on 9. And this is a graphic novel memoir, so I was counting it as a non-fiction. And being that it is a graphic novel, it was really quick to read through, so on the very last day of the year I read this one. Question number 2 is, what is your first read of this year? So obviously we're past the midpoint of January, so I have already read some books, but the very first book that I read in January is On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. This was, funnily enough, a gift from Sasha, so thank you, Sasha, for my first read of the year. And this one is a letter or letters from a son to his mother. Whoa! Whoa, I'm getting interrupted now.
Me. Look at.
What would you like to play with?
Hi.
Hi. Okay, question number 3 is, share 3 of your reading goals for this year. Yes, Bubba? Okay, so I did an entire video, all my goals, if you want to see that. Okay, he's playing with dinosaurs now, so excuse the noise. But my goal on Goodreads is to read 23 books in 2023. I would also like to read 10 non-fiction books, 10 Australian authored books, and 10 new releases. Oh, I have really similar goals to what I had last year. They're pretty basic reading goals, but if you want to see that video, I will leave it linked. Next question is, share 3 of your most anticipated titles. Oh my god. Yeah. So I honestly haven't really kept up with new releases for the next year. I don't even know what's coming out, but I have written down a couple that I thought I would be interested in. So in May, the book Yellowface comes out, which is written by R.F. Kuang. I have not read any of their previous books.
Why?
The previous books are fantasy, which is why I haven't picked them up. But I believe that this book that they're coming out with is not a fantasy book. I think it is to do with the publishing industry. I think that the premise is that a white author steals an author of color's book and publishes it. I don't know, something about that. I'm not the person to come to for new releases, so excuse me, but yeah, dinosaur. Dinosaur. So it sounds like something that I would like, and I have heard that the author is very smart and that the books are all very well written, so I'm interested to see if I enjoy that one. In August, a book called Family Law is coming out. This is by Elizabeth Acevedo, and I have read her young adult books, and this is her first adult book, so I'll be eagerly awaiting that one. And also I feel like everyone is probably looking forward to this, but in April, the book Happy Place by Emily Henry comes out. I have read all the other Emily Henry romances that we've all read, and I enjoyed them. None of them were all-time favorites for me, but I am still wanting to pick up her new release anyway. So there's 3 books for 2023. Which goals did you reach / not reach last year? Again, I have an entire video going over my goals, but I did reach most of my goals, which is good. My Goodreads goal was set to 22 books and I did surpass that. Like I said, I wanted to read 10 non-fiction and I did do that one. I wanted to complete the buzzword reading challenge, which I also did. I didn't read the number of Australian authors that I wanted to. I can't even remember what my other goals were, but I have, like I said, the whole video on it, so I'm not going to repeat myself here. But most of them were complete, and the ones that I didn't complete, I kind of reworded them for this year so that it was hopefully going to be easier to complete for me. I don't know, we'll see at the end of this year. Next, are there any new releases this year you've heard of that you have no desire to read? Like I said, I'm not really keeping up with the new releases. I'm sure there are. Anything fantasy. What are some reading habits you want to change this year, if any? I think a reading habit that I would like to change, usually what I do is while Kian is napping is when I get reading done, because that's my me time. And he only takes one nap a day and we're almost ready to phase the one nap out. But I do want to try and read more while he's not napping, like while he's just sitting and playing, because one, it's nice to have some time for myself while he's not asleep as well, but two, I also think that it is nice for him to see me reading a lot, because kids tend to watch and are like sponges and picking up on things that the adults in their life around them do. So having him see me with a book in my hand, I think is probably a good habit for him. I obviously want to have a love of reading instilled in him as well. And while he does see me read every now and again, and he knows we love books, I'm always reading books with him. I think it would be nice for him to see me with a book in my hand more often, because usually he's asleep while I'm actively reading.
What is this?
The eyeshadow. It's makeup. Do I look good?
Wait, what is this?
Oh, don't touch, just smudge it. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, baby, no, you'll smudge, you'll smudge.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Are there any adaptations you're excited about? Are there any adaptations? Is Daisy Jones and the Six thing coming out this year? I don't know. If it is, I'm excited for that. Maybe I should reread that book. Favorite bookish memory of last year? I watched my tag from last year of this. What? I watched my January tag that I posted last year. Oh, sorry. And I feel like I had a lot more fun bookish memories listed in that video. Baby. Unfortunately, I wasn't having as good a year just in general in my life in 2022. But a fun memory, at the end of the year, Sasha, who I've mentioned like 10 times already in this video, came and visited me and stayed with me for a couple of nights. She was traveling through and embarking on a very long drive with 3 young children in the back of her car. So my place was thankfully around the halfway point for her. So it was fun to meet a bookish friend that I've made online. So yes, we did some IRL book shopping and book reading. Why did I say it like that? So yeah, it was like on the second last day of the year. We also met up with Abby from Abby Lee Seed Book Lover on the very last day of the year as well to watch the New Year's Eve fireworks. So yes, we did end off the year pretty good, and hopefully I'm manifesting that in 2023 I'm going to have lots of bookish memories to reflect back on when I do this tag next year. Last question is question 10. Carryovers from last year that you still plan on finishing? Not really. This is technically a carryover. I've already finished it because we're like halfway through January. In December, I started Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I only read 1 chapter, but this is a pretty chunky book. Well, for me it is anyway. It's 400 pages. So I didn't think I'd be able to finish it in December. So I ended up putting it off until January, where I could sit down and have the time to enjoy it, which I did. This was the second book that I read this year. But yes, technically this was a carryover because I did start it in December, but I've already finished it. And other than that, anything else that I put down in 2022 is just a DNF, I think. I don't think I'm going to pick back up anything else that I put down. I also finished reading Know My Name in December, which would have almost been a carryover. This I also finished on the second last day of the year. I started this in March and it's a very heavy read, so it took me a while to be in the right headspace to finish it, because you do need to be in the right headspace for this one. But if I hadn't finished it on the second last day of the year, then it would have been a carryover. If you couldn't tell, I was trying to reach that non-fiction goal. All right, my child is making noise in the background, so I'm gonna go. I won't tag anyone in this. I won't tag anyone in this because it's almost the end of January anyway. So if you would like to do it and I upload it in time and for it to remind you, then go ahead and do it. Too much noise. All right, we have to go. Bye. I appreciate you for being here, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.